So I'm going to try to very thoroughly but quickly go through what batter's interference is. This is going to be mostly for high school baseball. High school softball is very simple. Once you see batter's interference, the ball is immediately dead and the runners go back to the base they were at the time of the pitch. So we can get that out of the way right now, 20 seconds in. Baseball is a lot more intricate, and it depends on what situation you have going on the field. And that will depend on how you rule batter's interference in high school baseball. So very quickly, I'm going to go through the definition or situations explained in Rule 7-3-5. These are all for high school. A batter shall not interfere with the catcher's fielding or throwing by leaning over home plate, stepping out of the batter's box, making any other movement, including follow-through interference, which hinders action at home plate or the catcher's attempt to play on a runner, or failing to make a reasonable effort to vacate a congested area when there's a throw to home plate and there's time for the batter to move away. Very quickly, I want to say Little League coaches are very subject to this. Little League coaches are basically parents, and they're not very knowledgeable or very in tune with the small rules of the sport that they're coaching. I will say right away, just because you're in the batter's box does not mean you're protected. That box is there to really, it's there as a guide to contain you in an area to attempt to swing at a pitch, and also if you hit a ball and it comes back up and hits you, then you're protected. Otherwise, you can get interference called on you if you're just going to stand in the box and not do anything. It does not protect you. The batter's box is not there for the batter, really, if you think about it. It's basically there just to tell your batter where to stand. Moving very quickly along, we are going to go to 5-1-2. It's a delayed dead ball when there's interference by a batter. If the interference with the catcher attempting a play on a runner results in that throw by the catcher being an out, and that was a very weird way of me saying it. So if there's batter interference and the catcher's throw results in an out, you're going to ignore the interference like it never happened. If that throw does not result in an out, you're going to call time and enforce the penalty, which is very confusing and kind of wordy. But this is how it reads. 7-3-5 penalty. When there are two outs, the batter is out. When there are not two outs and the runner is advancing to home plate from third base, if that runner is tagged out, the ball remains live and interference is ignored. Otherwise, if that runner on third advancing home is not tagged out, the ball is dead and that runner is called out. When an attempt to put out a runner at any other base is unsuccessful, that batter is out. The batter is out, I should say, and all runners must return to the bases occupied at the time of the pitch. If the pitch is a third strike, and in the umpire's judgment, the interference prevents a double play or any additional outs from being made, they may be ruled in addition. So we're going to quickly go through a couple case plays. I'm going to try to explain everything clearly and also detailed. So we have a runner on one out, 2-0 count. Batter swings and misses, making contact with the catcher on the follow-through. So the swing is powerful enough to swing him around, and he actually hits the catcher with the bat. The action interferes with the catcher's throw to second base in an effort to put out the advancing runner on first. The result after the throw is that the runner is safe at second base. So we have a runner safe at second base after the catcher threw after being interfered with on one out. So in this specific situation, the batter is going to be called out and the runner is going to be put back on first base. Case play number 2, same situation, only instead of a 2-0 count, we have a 2-2 count. So same situation, pitch is delivered, swing and a miss, follow through, hits the catcher who is attempting to throw the runner advancing to second base, and the runner is safe. So in this situation, since it's a 2-2 count, in the order of playing action, the pitch is delivered, and the batter swings and misses the 2-2 pitch, which results in a strikeout. So that batter is out, and then he proceeds to interfere. So we have batter's interference. So somebody's going to be called out, but we can't call the batter out because he's already out on a strikeout. So it's going to be the runner being attempted. So the catcher is attempting to make a play on the runner going to second base. So that's going to be the runner we call out. It's also worth noting, if we don't know who the catcher is making a play on, the person being called out is going to be the runner closest to home. So if we have a runner on 1 and 2 and the interference is so bad that the catcher is throwing the ball like straight up in the air or something like that, we don't know who he was throwing it to. He might have been throwing it to the runner on 1 advancing to 2 or the runner on 2 advancing to 3, but we don't know. So in that case, we're going to call out the runner on 2 advancing to 3, since he is the lead runner in the situation. But either way, since we have a 2-2 count, we have an out on the strikeout, and because we have interference, we're going to call out the runner being made, or the runner being attempted on. Next, we have a runner on 2 and a runner on 3. No outs, 0-2 count. The runner on 2 and 3 both attempt to steal on the pitch. The batter swings and misses and interferes with the catcher's attempt to throw out the runner to throw out R1 at second base. Both runners advance safely. So, this one, we have an 0-2 count and 0 outs. Runners on 2 and 3. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I read this case play correctly. I think it's runners on 1 and 2, but it shows runners on 2 and 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and rule it that way. So runner on 2, runner on 3, no outs, 0-2 count. Both runners advance safely on attempting to steal on the time of the pitch, but we have batter's interference. So we have an 0-2 count. The batter swings and misses, so he's out on a strikeout right there. But we have batter's interference. So what do we do in this case? We have a runner on 3 attempting home. So that is where we're going to call that runner out. So both runners advance safely. So the runner on second attempting 3 is going to go back. The runner on 3 attempting home is going to be called out, unless there was a play going to be made on the runner on 3 advancing home. If the tag was made and that runner is out, we're going to ignore it. So that runner on 2 could go to 3. But since the out was made, it's going to be live. If the catcher did not make the tag and it was safe, then we're going to call that runner out, and that runner is going to go back to 2. But in the situation that I'm now reading correctly, the runner on 1 and 2, with a 0-2 count, we're going to have the same thing. Batter's out for a strikeout. And let's see, it looks like, it's catcher's attempt to throw out the runner at second base, advancing to third. So we know where he's attempting a throw on the runner going to third base. So that's who we're going to call out as well. So we have the batter out on a strikeout, and because he interfered, and we know where he's going to be making a play on the runner at 3, that batter is out as well. So hopefully this clears up a lot of confusion. I know if I'm doing a softball or a baseball game, I like to read through my chart I made, which is differentiating a lot of small intricate rules between the two sports, so that I'm not officiating a baseball game like a softball game, or vice versa. I'll also, I'd like to end this with a little, with a sentence or an entry in the, excuse me, in the baseball umpires manual, the 2023 and 2024 baseball umpire manual. Number 13 here on page 32. Section 11, game situations, subsection 13. It reads, Doug Harvey, among others, is said to have claimed that umpiring is the only job where you are expected to be perfect on day 1 and then get better each day after. So I'll just leave you with that little bit right there. Hopefully it clears up any questions anybody would have, and I definitely think a lot of value can come from this video, especially to a lot of parents, spectators, or coaches who don't have a rule book by their side constantly. So I appreciate you watching this almost 10-minute video, and I think I'll end it right here. I appreciate it.